Hey guys, Lady Liberty Stacker. It is Thursday, September 5th, 2019, and I'm back with the massive haul of cast iron and vintage cookware that I picked up with hubby over the weekend and also with my mom when I took her out for her birthday to the favorite part of the state with rolling hills and farms and antique shops and Swiss cheese and all that kind of wonderful stuff. So, but at any rate, without further ado, I will show you what hubby and I found, and then I'll show you what Mom and I found when we were together. And I'm kind of getting them excited about helping me look for the stuff, which makes it more fun for me. So I have to give hubby credit because he suggested antiquing when it was raining. We normally play golf when we go. And, well, we didn't do that this time just because the weather didn't cooperate, but we found some goodies instead. So without further ado, I'll show you what we got. Went to an antique mall in where we were at. We were in like a tri-state area, which we could go and do many different, gives us an option. We go there every Labor Day. But we stopped in at some antique stores in that particular area. And an antique store, usually you're going to have to pay up for cast iron. And I saw this, well, I actually didn't see this one. I saw this one first, but I'll go ahead and show you this one. They showed me this little number 3 skillet, and they said it's only $5, but it's 30% off, so you can pick it up for $3.50. It's a number 3. It's a solid little skillet, and I saw the font on the back, so it kind of looks like the vintage Wagner. I'm not sure. I think that thing says made in. It looks like it says on closer examination, it looks like Taiwan, but I'm not sure. But it's got features that Wagner has in their skillets. So we'll see. We'll see what it actually is after we soak it and in the lye and vinegar and strip it off. But actually, it looks like a solid little skillet. Just somebody kind of neglected it. And I'm collecting these. I want to get up to 6. This would be my 5th one. That was my 4th one, a 3-notch lodge. And you can actually make a individual entree or a dessert and put this in for each person. I thought that would be kind of cool that I could do that. But this one was $3.50, and we'll find out what it is after we strip it. There it is, $3.50. And if it doesn't have Made in USA on it, you can pretty much guess that it's pre-1960. This might be a Made in Taiwan because there are a few of those floating around, but that's okay. I'm not going to flip it anyway. The next skillet at this vendor, also 30% off, is a, I don't know if that means Wagner or if that's just the name of the vendor. I'm not sure. But it's a cast iron pan large. And this one is, I believe, an Unmarked Wagner. It's a number 10. You can kind of see it there. It's hard to tell. It's hard to see. I can kind of see it. But you got to strip it. And it's pretty smooth on the bottom. But it's got a lot of crud that needs to come off. We're going to go ahead and turn it over. And there is the back side. And you can see the font says 11 3/4 inch skillet. I don't see Made in USA there, but I won't know until I uncover it. So right now it appears to be an Unmarked Wagner. Now if it does say Made in USA, we know it was made probably between 1960 and 1970, which is still vintage and people like vintage. So there you go. But that is a Wagner. It's a number 10. And the larger the skillets, guys, the more expensive and the more collectible they become because they're not as prolific out there in the marketplace. So this is a number 10. It's almost 12 inches. And it's probably a Wagner, I'm going to guess. And it's not that heavy. So that was kind of cool to find that. And that was also, let me go ahead and put the price tag back in there so I remember. That was also 30% off. So I paid $10.50 for it. I'll take that all day long. And it seems like a solid skillet. So we'll go ahead and put those back. And then another vendor in the same mall had this skillet, and it's $5 also. And they just have small iron skillet. They didn't know what it was. And here it is. It has nice definitive pour spouts. Nice handle there. A little bit of rust, but very good bones to it. Then you get to the back and you see this number 5 with the dash underneath it, but on its side, and it's usually in line with the handle. And the handle doesn't flatten out at the sidewall like a Wagner does. It has that little triangle thing that flattens out. It goes right into the sidewall, and it's pretty definitive all the way down, and that's a Vollrath. Just picked one up when hubby and I went away in July, and this is a number 8. And you can see the same thing. The handle there is very defined, and then you've got 8 with the dash next to it. And this one is all stripped, seasoned, and ready to go. And actually, it's sold. It's sold for about $98 shipped. And I'm going to be shipping it out today or tomorrow. It's going to go to California. So the guy is thrilled to get such a gorgeous pan. And he got a good deal on it. I probably could have gotten more money out of it. But, you know, it was a quick flip. I doubled my money on it. And who could ask for anything better than that? Well, triple money would be better, but whatever. It's a nice skillet. I'm just hoping that this one turns out the same as that one, but has the heat ring on the outside. We're going to strip it on down, and we're going to restore that. So this one should go for about 50 plus shipping, or 65 to 70 shipped, because they're rare. You don't run into them very often. 50 probably plus shipping, something like that, because they're very rare. This one I paid $5 for. There we be. Same shop, different vendor. This is an antique griddle. It's a thin griddle. It's probably only about 8 inches across. It has these funky handles. Really couldn't find a whole lot out about this. I was researching it online, and we're going to flip it over. And the person probably used it on a couple different burners while camping, but it's relatively smooth. This is rust. It'll just come off. And there doesn't seem to be any writing on it at all. So if that's the case, it's probably completely antique. These were made in the early 1900s or late 1800s. I might have a gate mark if it was late 1800s, but if anybody out there knows what this is, that would be great. I'm going to have to strip it to see if there's any other markings on it. But I paid $20, and I would never use this, but these are going for $80 to $100 plus shipping online. So I'd be happy to get that. But of course, it'd be worth it, once I put the work into it. And again, here is the cost of that. And I'm tax exempt because I am a vendor, so I didn't have to pay sales tax. So I saved another $2.83 off these purchases. So $39 for 4 nice pieces of cast iron. And then hubby and I stopped at a flea market. These 2 pieces here were in a vendor or two away from the first vendor, and it pays to know what this stuff is worth. I stopped at the first vendor, and he had a pot just like that. This is it's a Revere ware, double ring, 5-quart stock pot, and they were made before 1968. And this one here, you can see the double ring there. These are the ones that are worth more money. The larger, the better. But these stock pots do really well. They've got nice hardware on them. They're just not available anymore. Got to clean it up a little bit. But he had it priced at $15. He marked it down, and by the time I showed up at the flea market, it was $5. But the vendor that I first saw it at, I said, how much for the Revere ware? He said $15. He didn't have prices on it. I get really leery if I don't see prices on things. I said, thank you, but no. 2 vendors down, here's this guy here. Really, really decent. It's a great pot. It's in good shape. A little barkeeper's friend in my Scott pad, non-abrasive pad. It'll clean up really good. And then they also had this pan sitting there. This one was actually down in this one. And I said, how much for that cast iron pot, little pan down there? I just played stupid because I kind of knew what it was. He said $5. I said, oh, okay. I just played dumb. But this is a chicken fryer. It is a number 8. You can see the 8 right there. It just needs to be stripped. And we're going to turn it over on the back, and you can see a W for Wagner ware. And we're just going to go ahead and put it in a lye bath. But this is one I already have. I bought this a couple years ago, and I paid about retail for it. At the time, it was $40. And there is a Wagner ware, and I use it when I do saute or bake, fry, whatever you want to call it, chicken and things like that where the grease splatters. But it's a model 188E. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So these now are going for about $45 to $55 plus shipping online. So that's exactly what this thing is. They're not exactly light, and I felt that in my hand when I turned it over. But that one will sell fairly quickly. The Revere ware sells within a month usually. Sometimes I sell it within a week to 2 weeks, very, very, very quickly, and it's easy to clean up. This one here may take a little bit longer, but it's $5. It'll go for $40 to $50, somewhere in there. I don't need another one, so obviously I'm going to sell it. But I knew what it was because I had one already. And then, moving right along, here is an old three-legged soup, bean pot, whatever you want to call it. This thing here is a gate mark. And right here is a crude number 9. It's a 9. The size 9 is a little bit larger. The most common out there is 7 and 8. You see them all the time. The larger, they are less common. They're heavy. But I can ship this because it isn't too big. I'm going to try to turn it over so you can see the other side. I got the handle here. Oh, just trying to get it. With one hand, I'm holding the camera. Okay, here it is on the other side. It's pretty much already done. There's no, it needs to be, I'm going to just kind of rinse it out with water maybe and, just clean it up just a little bit, but I don't have to strip it. I don't have to season it. It's pretty much done. Campers will use this. They'll have their little tripod over their campfire and they'll hang it up with the bail handle. And this one here, the work has been done for me. I paid $36 minus a 10% discount. And they didn't actually tell me about the discount until I asked them. I brought this up and I said, is there any kind of discount on these? He goes, yeah, we can give you 10%. And that's kind of typical because other antique malls have done that as well, especially if it's, pricey, over $20 or $30. Sometimes they'll do that. So, yeah, I got this for 10% off, so $32.40. There is a little pitting on the bottom, but it doesn't matter when you're making soups and stews and beans and things like that. This is perfect, and these sell all day long for $100 plus online. So I don't need it, but we're going to go ahead and flip this one. And then here is another great find. And I paid up a little bit for this, but I still got a really good deal because there are other ones that were 50 to 60 more than what I paid for this. This is an American number 9 Griswold, large logo, 1908 waffle iron. So this is an antique. It was made over 100 years ago. It's got the handles intact. And you do need a hot pad when you turn these, but there you go. And then we're going to go ahead and open these guys up. It's in really good condition. I'm going to strip it, though, and re-season it, strip it down to the bare metal, just like I did with my favorite Pequaware. And this is a 9, and it's a little larger than my Pequaware. And I will pause the camera. I will be back and show you the comparison. Okay, there it is, guys. That's a number 9. It's bigger. This is the one I just stripped and restored. It's a number 8. Favorite Pequaware. And again, you don't even need handles on this. You just turn it just like that. And I think I was not going to sell this one, but I am going to sell this one once I get this one stripped and redone. Now this one I paid a little more. It's a Griswold. They are the most collectible out there of these waffle irons. I paid $89 less a 10% discount, so I paid about $81, give or take. And that was well worth it because I paid about $60 for this one. And this one, actually, there was a recent sale on this one of, I think, $160 shipped. And these can go for $150 up to $200. I actually saw one of these. It was a heart-shaped one in another antique mall, and they wanted $355. Well, I think it'll be sitting there for a while, but it goes to show you how crazy these prices are. I was happy to pay $80, $81. Saw 2 more of these, I think, in a number 8 size, because number 8 is much more common than number 9. Saw them for $145 in the same antique mall with a different vendor. So I'll just strip this down, and that'll just probably come off. And I may, now that I've found some places where I can get cast iron, yeah, they're a little bit of a hike from my house, but I may have to set up an electrolysis bath. You know, I've never picked up this much at one time. Never at one time. But anyway, this is what I got. I'm keeping this one. I'm going to sell this one eventually. And yeah, so I got some good stuff from my collection. And then I got some good stuff that I can make a nice profit on online after I restore them, of course. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Give me a thumb up if you want to see more videos like this. And appreciate you guys watching, and go make it a great day.